in beautiful New York City. Well, it used to be beautiful. It looks like fucking hell right now. But I'm in New York. I want to Trader Joe's real quick, so I ain't coming from CT this morning. It's a good morning though. I was out walking around. Went to go see a buddy of mine. Hung out with him for a little bit. That felt good to have some company. I'll tell you that damn much. Have somebody to talk to is a million nowadays, you know? You don't even want to talk to you half the time, so that's a good thing. So hung out with a buddy of mine. Real light night. Had a beer too. Why not, right? And now I'm gonna head down here to Trader Joe's and power back to CT. I don't say I ain't too long here. You guys want to see New York? Hold on. There we go. Gotta be careful. Shit, it's too much. It's early morning though. But I figured I'd go here now instead of doubling back and then having to come back from Connecticut back down here. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it now. So I'll wait another, hour and a half, because they open up at 8, so it's not that bad, you know what I mean? So I am now walking down Black in New York. This is NYC. So what I wanted to talk about was this. Now, guys, you know my dilemma I had with my little homeless bout. And I stayed at homeless shelters and all that shit. Let me tell you, that's a fight within this fucking self right there. As I showed y'all, that's a fight within this fucking self. There needs to be something done urgently. You know, I saw Cuomo on the news the other day, and Andrew Cuomo's a governor. He's the one for touching all the girls and shit. That guy. So I saw where the governor had made a statement, and the mayor made a statement, and both of them were trying to address the violence that's coming from the homeless community here in New York City. And like I told y'all, New York is bad. That's a homeless cart right there. I know him when I see him. It's getting bad with people getting attacked. A lot of people. And I guess just now, they had another MTA worker that was attacked. Slashed across the face, evidently. And apparently there is a problem. Now, whether or not Cuomo and de Blasio and all these guys want to admit that there's a problem, it's never been in de Blasio's best interest to admit when he has a problem, evidently. So I wouldn't. I'm hesitant. Put it that way. I'm hesitant. It's got to be something done. Now, as I'm speaking of that, right? You see the van right there? That van right there is actually for homeless services. Now, I want to show y'all something. Y'all gonna notice there ain't gonna be nobody in here. No, this is Hope Health Home, BRC. But even if it was the homeless van, they have a van just like this. There will be nobody in it. They'll literally, let me tell you what they do. They will park the shit. Let me turn this back around so I got to see my face when I'm telling y'all. They will park the shit on the block, right? Leave it parked right there and just go about their business. They don't care about those people, right? And nobody's gonna come back to the city of New York if there ain't no, if there's nothing but homeless people and dirt everywhere. This place looks fucking filthy. Like it always look filthy, but it looks fucking filthy compared to where I live at. That's why I got the fuck up out of here. This place is filthy now. To me, you know? I hate to say, good morning, Star Pepper, what's going on? This place is filthy now, but I don't want to get out of the mode of forgetting what the fuck I just got out of. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to see what I can do to advocate for that particular cause. I think it's something I should do. And a lot of people say from the videos and the traction I got, it's something I should continue. And I think I should. I think I should advocate for these people. I think some of them cannot be saved. I will say that much. Well, I think some of them can be saved. The programs that they have and all that stuff now that they institute when they try to get these people on methadone and all that stuff, they're programs from 15, 20, 30 years ago. So they're not really helping those guys. So as a result, you're seeing these guys that get cleaned up, they get back in the street because they're going back to the same damn neighborhood. You got to keep these guys out of those neighborhoods. And now these neighborhoods are even worse because of this pandemic bullshit. You can expect to see the worst. That's what I'll tell you. Expect to see the worst. Now, I don't know about where each individually or you guys live at, what you do, where you do it at. I don't know, but I will tell you this much. If there's not some type of, if there's not some type of uptick in society here in New York City to compel and convey that problem towards the governor and the mayor on his ass, soonly out of here, because I got to get that. This is, I live in Connecticut, right? And we're a very liberal state for the start. But this mayor that they just had here in New York City when I was living here is one of the most liberal mayors I've ever met in my fucking life. And I'm not no fan of liberals. I'm really not. Malcolm X was one of the liberals. Dick Gregory was one of the liberals. Martin Luther King was one of the liberals. Liberals are now, for some reason or another, been the poster board for a lot of motherfuckers nowadays in the black and Latino community and their ideas. So I'm no liberal supporter. But this homeless problem we got in New York City is bad, man. It's bad. Like where I'm headed to right now, I'm gonna turn the camera around so y'all can see. Y'all can see it's horrible. Like they everywhere. Like everywhere I walked to last night, it was like I was walking over people. Like I don't know if y'all saw when I walked past that block, but there was probably like 6 or 7 right there. Just on that strip, So it goes to show with no detail. There's something that has to be done in New York City about the problem, and De Blasio ain't the one that's gonna do it. De Blasio was on his way out. His response to those MTA workers getting attacked was, and I quote you, he said, "Why do you want to slow down the city while we just started doing an economic recovery?" And I just thought to myself, I said, this cocksucker motherfucker. You're more concerned with the economic recovery because it's summertime, and you know that the residuals that you're going to get from the summertime for the next, maybe 2.5 months are going to supersede anything you had last year within those 2.5 months. That's a fact. Now, the revenue they'll get from that won't be from mom and pop stores anymore. The revenue they're going to be getting will be from places like Burlington Coat Factory, your Targets, your Bloomingdale, places like that, the flag stores. Those are the ones that are going to get the business, all right? Trust me on that. And when they get that business, they're not going to keep their business in New York City. They're going to start slowly moving the fuck up out of here, just like a lot of other companies have. They started moving the fuck out of here. New York is not the business staplet that it used to be. I'm sorry, it's not. And people want to say, oh, it's going to come back. It's not going to come back for another 5-10 years, literally. And if it does come back within the next 5 or 10 years, it will not be anything of what you saw in the past. I agree with that. At least 12. Actually, you need 12. You need 12 to, I'll tell you what I mean by that. To actually get adequate number, you would need at least 12 trillion to start. At that 12 trillion, I think that rounds about that everybody would get somewhere around the midst of like 10 grand or something like that, which isn't a lot of fucking money, You need a lot of money for that reparations thing to go through. And I just think right now, at this particular moment, I don't think the U.S. government would be so, they're willing to have the conversation because they feel obligated to have the conversation based on a lot of factors, police brutality cases, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So for the camera, they'll have the conversation. Do I think they sincerely will have the conversation? Absolutely fucking not. That's why I like something I heard Zoe Williams say today when I was on his live yesterday, And Zoe Williams said, people had asked him about Kevin Samuels and Umar Johnson and their little beef or whatever online. And somebody said, well, Joe, can you speak on it? And he said, what is there to speak on? Why should I speak on it? And he was absolutely right. You shouldn't speak on it. And I'll tell you why you shouldn't speak on it. You shouldn't speak on it because it's just going to fuel the flame, for one. 2, some things are just better left at the fucking dinner table. You know what I mean? And so having that discussion too much just adds to the fuel of the voyeurism and gossipy talk and chitty chatty patty shit. And I got caught into it a minute too. That's why I had to move away from Jaguar's affairs. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad Jaguar set her ass down too. Because I like Jaguar Wright. You know, Jaguar Wright is responsible for me on YouTube right now. But at the same time, Jag, you know I'm a little bit of everywhere, but at the same time, Jag, I couldn't just rock with it anymore because it was just too, my channel got taken for a little spin for 90 days. A little bit past 90 days because they weren't going to let me live stream, period, anymore. That's my point I want to get to. They were prepared to not let me live stream anymore, period, until I explained everything. And I said to them, I said, listen, I wrote in one email, I said, I guarantee you, if you look at the what's the names, you're going to see more than enough freaking complaints against this shit because this is what she does. She gets online, threatens people, telling me she's going to shoot people, do this, whatever. She had one of her little commenters writing thing, I'm going to take your channel down. Well, you never did take my channel down. You did get me suspended from live streaming for a couple of days, but who cares? I'm back. You know what I mean? And even before then, I started a new channel, which I'm glad that channel, and I'll still be there too. So when they do the restream, we'll be doing it from all 4 of them now instead of just one. You know what I mean? We'll do it that way. And it catches the viewers too. You guys, this whole homeless problem that's here in New York City is getting out of hand. And the people here are attacking people. And I hate to say it, but some of these guys that are homeless and fucked up, they're not rehabilitated. You can't rehabilitate motherfucker. He's that gone. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, you could try, lock him in a room or something like that, but there's a whole bunch of guys that are also homeless and actually want to change. They're just looking for the opportunity. So I said, why not put focus on them and put secondary focus on the ones that are, maybe mentally ill and things like that, and get them the adequate means that they need. Now, one thing that I like they did in New York City was, and de Blasio did this, was he just recently made it so there's going to be a homeless shelter that's specifically for mentally ill people. And I think that's a great idea. I think a lot of you cope on, like, imagine being homeless and there's a pattern of a virus going on. So imagine that in your mind for just 2 seconds, and you're alone. You already didn't have anybody, but now you're super alone because there's nobody on the street. Even right now, early in the morning, there's nobody out here. And I can guarantee you in a day's time, I'll run past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 within a couple of minutes. It just happened at 42nd Street for me, So there's an evident problem. De Blasio, I don't think he knows really how to fucking address it. I think that's one of the main problems. And the bigger problem is who is going to address it after their new constituency starts? Because you always have a delay when a new constituency starts, and that's what I figure is going to happen here. So now you're going to have that year overlap together. But what I'm trying to tell you is I marketed records for 17 years, okay, through 3 different record distributors. And I can tell you the last thing you want is a scar and a mark on your product. New York as a product has a scar and a mark on it. It's called homelessness. And they hadn't dealt with it before the pandemic, but now it's out of control. There are people, I'm going to give y'all some stories. About 4 months ago, for 2 months straight, there was people getting pushed off the subway platforms. All by mentally ill, homeless people. I'm talking about these motherfuckers are out here talking to themselves, everything else, all right? Now, one of the main things that was crazy to me was nobody took the time and asked for 5 minutes, hey, what's wrong with these brothers and sisters? What's going through their head? Blah, 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 blah. Nothing. And it's crazy because the whole time they got them, like, I don't know, under surveillance, you really should have an information to put them in a mental institution or something. I'm talking about people will come off the subway talking to themselves and you don't know what to think. People will get up next to you and do all kinds of weird shit and you're like, okay, what should I do here? You know what I mean? And if you go the wrong way, what usually generally happens is now you got a situation on your hands. And you've got it with a person that may have HIV, that may have any type of tuberculosis, any type of communicable disease or STD or whatever the fuck else. So you've got to make a second decision to say to yourself, okay, do I bother this fucking person or do I just chill the fuck? You know what I mean? It's like, it's really complex, So I don't know who is going to be in the next constituency. I'm going for Mr. Adams out in Brooklyn. But I will say this. it's a problem that needs to be immediately handled. It's not a problem that needs to be, taken for a ride. And most of the people that I see, I hate to say it, most of them are black men and Spanish men and white men. I don't see that many women, but those three categories of men, white men, Spanish men, and black men, that's the ones I see the most. And I mean, I like from here to the next borough or whatever. And even though we have that problem, we have the same problem in Connecticut, you don't see that shit in Stanford like this, not like it is here. In Stanford, they would have put a mask over it real quick, like Governor Lamont tried to do before. So there needs to be something done about it. I don't know what it's going to do, but I can tell you this much. You're not going to get, if you get some people coming here and they're visiting New York City and they haven't been here in a while, you had people that were coming here during the pandemic because the freaking plane tickets were just dirt cheap. So those people that came here and they looked at this place and they're like, oh my God, what the hell? This is the representation you got here? You got homeless zombies running around, K2 addicts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the people are looking at that and they're like, I don't want to fucking go back there. They'll tell 3 or 4 of their friends, don't go fucking there. That place is horrible, you see? So that's what happens when you get people coming to New York and New York is looking the way it's fucking looking. And you get a mayor that turns around and says the MTA workers that are getting slashed across their face after putting in their 40 a week. Yeah, I think that's an insult. Oh, shit. You say to them, this is what you say. You say to them, you know what? Why are y'all interrupting the city getting back into order? This is what they say. Why are you interrupting the city getting back into order financially? That is the main modus operandi of the mayor, and I believe the governor too. The governor really hasn't spoken on the situation, but you get MTA workers getting slashed across the face, you get them getting attacked, people pushing people off fucking subway platforms, on the train, helping whatever, and however it happens to them. It's a strong stretch, and unfortunately enough, many of you guys out there, the African American, Latino, a lot of times the threats don't come from, old master or oppressor, like a lot of y'all motherfuckers like to say. They come from a person who look just like you. So let's keep that a buck, all right? There's a lot of motherfuckers there in the black and Latino community that are fucking nuts. They were raised by nuts. And you add in a pedomorphic mentality, you got a disaster, Like, and this pedomorphic mentality don't just exist in black culture. It exists in Spanish, Latin. I think a broad stretch of the culture based on what we grasp onto in media, Let me see what some of y'all said. Cocoa Butter, Bobby, what's going on? We good morning, thank you. We blacks and Latinos need 3 trillion. No, you need about 12 trillion to get the money out, Anton Queen, morning. Davin, good seeing you again. Good to see you back. How are you doing, Davin? I wish you well. You really hung in there. Hope everything is okay. Your video have a lot of information. Thank you very much. Annette, what's going on, Annette? I ain't see you right there. Nothing. I'm in New York, you guys. I'm just right across the border, Right from Connecticut, but I'm in the town. I'm coming down here. Now, I told you I was coming down here to Trader Joe's. I can't miss Trader Joe's because I like to eat healthy. So I don't like to eat bullshit food. I'm not really a meat lover like that no more. Like I do light meat, I don't want to talk about food because I'm talking about homelessness, and I don't think that that's cool. And that's a bad segue. But I'll tell you this, man. If you don't clean up this city or put a Band-Aid on it, however the hell you're going to do it, I think they've still got the homeless in these hotel rooms nowadays. And I don't know how the funds are getting provided for that, but if you don't get a handle on it pretty soon, what it's going to do is by the time you hit into the wintertime, you're going to have it really off your hands. And now they're going to be really even more desperate because it's now cold. So they're now even going to be more desperate to attack people, do whatever the hell they're going to do or whatever. So you got to get these guys off the street, and that's my point there. It's not just happening here. It's happening in Connecticut where I'm at. It's happening in Jersey. It's happening in D.C. I mean, it's all across the country, especially California. People are running for fucking California. My sister lives there. I can tell you that now. She lives right there in Modesto. So people are running away from these places because even in California, they were doing the same thing. There was a guy that pushed somebody in front of a car. There was another guy that attacked somebody in a fucking donut shop. Like you don't understand the severity of it. And the problem is, a lot of times they're targeting who they're targeting because they feel as they look weak or whatever the case may be. But in reality, they the weak motherfucker that would do something like that, So there has to be something done. I saw that Carlos Silva, he tried to get out here with the Guardian Angels for a minute. They did this soft safe walk homes programs in each individual borough and sectors of the boroughs, so not the totality of the boroughs, but I thought that was a good idea. It's got to be an ongoing effort from New Yorkers and just people in the tri-state period to do business in New York or live close to New York like I do. I live 30 fucking minutes away from New York. And not even 30 minutes. So I was in the car, it'd be 20 minutes, you know? I had some kid tonight. He was like, "Oh, you live in Stamford? You don't live in the Old Greenwich?" I was like, well, "Who gives a fuck? You don't live in either fucking one." I live on the North End. Fuck you, you fucking fuck. I was real assaulted by it. You know, like the one-upper. That's what I call them, the one-uppers. Lame motherfucker. That means you ain't got no fucking personality. What I'm getting at is, man, if they don't do something about putting the Band-Aid and putting the package together to get these people housed or something like that, there was supposed to be 30% of properties here in New York City that were supposed to be deemed for homeless people and new developers. You go down to Brooklyn by DeKalb and all that stuff, you don't see nothing but new development sky high, half-done skyscrapers and everything else or whatever. So I'm asking, how can those 30% of those properties, as they were obligated to do, have to be fulfilled? I want to ask the question, the money that Governor de Blasio got for doing development and paid money into development corporations, how come those haven't fulfilled their obligation or gotten the buildings or the hotels renovated they were supposed to and make them into apartments? None of this stuff has been done. And as a result of that lack, what has happened is when the pandemic happened and intensified the pandemic problems that were prior to that, and that was homelessness. And I can tell you from being around these guys, this seeing how the severity of a lot of them are, a lot of them I honestly and truthfully believe, I don't think it's reversible in their situations, but I think there's a high majority of them that are. I think there's a high majority of them that not only just deemed, you know, you can literally remake them and help them. I think that they deserve it. You know, a lot of people are forgotten once they're homeless too. The families forget them. They don't care about them. They don't want to come check them out or anything else. So let's hope that something comes together. But if you guys ever get the chance, just make sure you advocate yourself. Tell people, you know, hey, listen, there's a problem in New York City. I don't like it. I don't think it's a good reflection of the city. I don't think if, you know, people come here and visit, that that's what they're going to want to see. And I think you're going to get a totally different response from not only the mayor or whoever, but you got to make it go live. You got to make it go vocal. Now, give me a second. This fucking sun's in my face. You got to make it go live. You got to make it go vocal. If you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to come back to a city, and I'm talking native New Yorkers, I'm talking people that come here and do business. You're going to come to a city that's going to be so despicable because of so many of the criminals and just predators and everything else or whatever. There's a lot of people out here of color that prey on other people of color because they're scared actually to prey on whites. So it's a thing that you have to deal with here. It's unfortunate you have to deal with here. Most of the time it comes from these guys that are raised by women solely. And so they have the reactions, they have the emotions of women, you know, and that's just what it is. And a lot of people will say, well, mom can do a good job. No, you fucking can't. You need a guy. I don't care if it's that kid's uncles. I don't care if it's brothers. I don't give a fuck what it is. You need an older male influence on that kid. You're going to get some fucking female hybrid. You know, that's really what it is, a female hybrid, you know? And these are the guys that are going around and then, you know, they're starting problems. So it's hard to figure out what the city actually is going to do as far as the necessity of trying to get things in order with the homeless problem down here, but you got to get a coat on it quick because nobody's going to come here and want to visit this place. If there is, hey, y'all want to see New York? I know y'all like the sightseeing shit. Nobody's going to want to come down to this place if it's full of homeless people, if it's full of filth. The streets are fucking, they are more filthy now, and this is honest God truth. New York is more filthy now than it was prior to the pandemic. Now, I know a lot of people would disagree with that. Some people just want to save face. And I understand it, you know, real Americans, real New Yorkers, they want to say, oh, no, it's not that bad. It is fucking bad. It's disgusting, okay? Like, you guys see when I do my lives at Stanford and I'm at home, and then you see how I do the lives here. And you can just look at the fucking streets and tell it's different, all right? So I'm not exaggerating here. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I'm saying the mayor here, including our governor too, needs to do something about fucking the little small things. The little small things I mean by that is You need to take care of that freaking homeless problem. Nobody's going to want to come to this fucking city if they see Momo and Bobo leaning over them. They ain't used to that shit. All right? So you get some visitors from, let's say, Pembroke, Nebraska, right? They come here and they say, hey, you know what? This is my first time in Pembroke, Nebraska in New York. And now what I want to do is I want to walk around the city for a little bit. Hi, you got 5 cents, you got 20s. You know, can you give me that? What the fuck is they got? No mask on. You know, you run into all kinds of possibilities with this shit. I'm not exaggerating here. So whether it's Connecticut, where I'm at in Stanford, whether it's New York, or whether it's Jersey, because all three seem to have the same problem, you need to eradicate it. Each one of them was, and I know there can't be a total eradication of it. That's impossible. But you have to at least put a fucking Band-Aid on it, for Christ's sakes. If you don't even fucking do that, it's gonna get out of control. Nobody is going to want to come to New York City for this planned relief package that Mayor de Blasio was trying to leave as this legend stick. Well, I did something. Might have been in the age trying to pull a Trump on us. De Blasio trying to pull a Trump on us. Same thing with Ned Lamont. Ned Lamont, he called up the WTNH trying to get some press time. Because you had so many holes in your shit, it is ridiculous. I'll get into that another time. What do you say? You have a good point. I've seen it where I visit River Walk in San Antonio. All the people begging and on drugs. I stopped going because of that, and that's what I'm telling you. People are not going to go to these places, and they're not going to want to come and come to these places if they see Whoa the Bobo sitting out there begging for money or whatever the case may be. And I'm not saying Whoa the Bobo was wrong for begging for money. Motherfucker, if you hungry, you hungry. But what I'm saying is, there's a terminology for it. It's called aggressive panhandling. Okay? New York actually has a law for this. It's called aggressive panhandling. And aggressive panhandling can be taken in definition many different ways. You know what I mean? It can be simply you're sitting in a restaurant and you're eating, and a motherfucker decides they want to hover over you and breathe and be like, you got $1. You know what I mean? You got 20 cents. You know what I'm saying? Like Gargamel or the fucking Schmeagol from fucking Lord of the Rings or some shit. You know, you're fucking confused. So I'm just telling you, if you come to New York City right now, that's probably what you're gonna fucking run into. So if I were you, there's a tourism board here in New York City. You can also call the governor's office and you can call the mayor's office and tell them, hey, listen, me and my family are from, I don't know, Schitt's Creek, Idaho, right? And we're getting ready to come visit New York. And we just want to tell the mayor, hey, we would like to see the place a little bit more shiny before we come there. We plan on spending a couple dollars, couple coins, you know, spruce up the place for us a little fucking bit. Don't have it look like fucking dungeon hell in fucking Narnia. That's all they're saying. What is this one? Right, not saying they're wrong, but everybody doesn't just ask for the money. Yeah, and then the other thing is, this is what I talk about microaggressions and passive aggressiveness. These motherfuckers will get mad at you if you tell them you don't have no change. Have anybody ever had that happen? Because I think a lot of these incidents are based on that. They'll ask somebody for some change, whatever the case may be. The person says, nah, you know what, I hope you burn in hell. Like that's just triggered that person off now. Because they've had a whole day of people rejecting them probably or not paying attention to them. They feel, I'm trying to tell you, people in that situation feel like in solitude. They feel like they're in what's the word I'm looking for here? Purgatory. Their own self-inflicted purgatory. And it's like, in most cases, some cases it comes from other people kicking them out. You know, you can't get over an ex-wife. I've seen it all. The men, I think, are the antithesis here that I'm getting at, and I think that's not being paid attention to in their mental health. And the reason I say you need to put a special attention on mental health with the men is because a man is physically stronger than a woman, not saying that a woman doesn't have the same physical strength to hurt a man. Okay, so let's not get into that silly ass conversation. But I'm just meaning that a man that's 250, 350 pounds and he's mentally ill, on drugs and homeless could probably do a lot of devastating damage to a normal passerby, if that's hard to get, you know? And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing motherfuckers getting pushed off the subway platforms and all kinds of, it's like 1980 here. It's like 1980 something in freaking New York here, you know? It's scary. And every time I go back home, I'm happy because I'm like, okay, at least I'm going back to Connecticut and I feel safe. But we got the same fucking problems out there now. Same fucking problems. So, I really like to let y'all. I really like to hear you guys' opinions and ideas on when it comes to that. What do you think? Like, do you have an opinion on it? Because I'd really like to hear it. I've seen a couple people right in here. I've seen where food was brought to the homeless man through the food editor. I've seen that before too. I have people say, well, if you don't have any money, why are you going in the restaurant to eat? Yeah, and trying to make you feel like you're wrong. I had that happen to me before too. Dude said to me, I said, yo, I ain't got it, G. He was like, yo, if you ain't got it, how you going in the restaurant to eat? I said, well, why are you paying that close attention to me, first of all? Second of all, who are you? You the hall monitor for this store? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's really happening here? Like, is this a shakedown? You know? Is this a monopoly? Well, I mean, what's going on here? You got a monopoly on this block and nobody can walk down without giving you $1? Huh? We'll see about that. This is yeah, you know, that's how they do. I know. She says, right? No, that's how they do. That's how they do. Not all, but there's a good majority that do that. And they do it out of desperation. And I think you would see this in any country in the world. You would see it, especially under these circumstances. You know, everybody likes to pretend, especially in our state. Everybody's fucking pretending, oh, it's fucking over. Everybody take your fucking mask off May the 19th. Everybody back at the bar. Come on, rush it, get it. 100 people, that's fine. 50 people, that's fine. What's the capacity? 75? Fuck it. Come on in. That's New England for you. You know? Ned Lamont wants to open the bars and everything May 17th and May the 19th. Which I think is a complete fucking mistake, but at the same time, you need the business, you know, so what do? You know, but we've seen so many mom and pop places, and see, in Connecticut, most of our places are mom and pop places. So most of the mom and pop places that we have, high majority of them got closed down. I mean, a shitload of them. One of my favorite bars got closed down. A friend of mine, her and her father's place got closed down. Like a lot of I don't know how to explain it, but like, unlike New York, Connecticut, we have like areas and counties, and then like we have municipalities within the county. So like, for example, I live in Fairfield County, but there's like 8 different places in Fairfield County. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's torn up and divided like that. So the money that gets distributed to combat certain problems, homelessness, hungriness, or whatever the fuck else case may be, as I showed you guys the clips on my channel, like from the news, local news, WTNH, and NBC, like the way that the local municipalities, and I found it odd because you actually had the governor mention it in his speech. He says, and the local municipalities are going to have to start kicking in their financial end. And I was like, okay, that's the best thing you could say, because what happened was for years, like, okay, well, I used to live in New London. New London was taking like fucking $1 million, $2 million and building whale tail statues downtown with fountains on them, you know, wasting the money. And they're not going to recoup this money until like 10, 15, 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, there's not going to be enough economic momentum for it. And they were hoping that the people who were coming in on the cruise ships, they would come off the boat and they would want to visit that and be like, oh, wow, look, it's a whale tail with a freaking waterfall off the tail. Oh, how unique. So it was some guy that did it. I guess he was some German guy or something like that or whatever that did the sculpture. They had it commissioned and then they had it built, but the whole complete project cost something like $1.2 million. So Connecticut has done this forever. They won't stop doing it until the population that I guess enjoys that, you know what I'm saying, kind of fucked up as it sounds, kind of dies off. You know, I tell you guys all the time, Diana Ross lives literally 15 minutes from us in Old Greenwich. And I'll tell you, like, this whole area of Greenwich and Stamford, and it's a beautiful area for one. I love my home. But it's had an increase of problems because of COVID-19. And there were problems that I think not only Connecticut, but I don't even think New York ever thought they would see, you know? And it just made the place terrible. I feel sorry when I see a lot of these guys sitting out there, and I know some people are unempathetic and they don't care, and they say, oh, well, he doesn't want to work, that's why he's like that. These guys have got a lot of problems. And, you know, I saw when they were doing these Safe Walk homes, and they had that whole campaign going on, I saw the reason that was behind them having to have those Safe Walk homes. And I said, well, the reason that you have to have that is because these girls, and I mean, there's enough evidence to point to it, and you know, so it shouldn't be a high argument. But you're seeing these guys just punch people in the face randomly, push people off subway platforms or whatever. I mean, this could be your grandmother, this could be your mother, this could be your sister, this could be your father, whoever, you know? It doesn't matter till it happens to you, right? You know? It doesn't matter till it happens to you. So, you know, you got to take an order. These guys that are doing this stuff, these are people that are not mentally stable. And for not only the mayor, but the governor to make light of it and say, oh, why are you getting so loud? He's telling the MTA workers that, the MTA union. He's telling these guys, why are you getting upset? You know, you're slowing it down. Why are you having these press conferences? They had a press conference down there by Hudson Yards. I just got to really say this, and I'm sorry how it sounds or whatever. You guys know I cuss anyway. I'm a New England boy. I curse, you know. This is what we do in the tri-state. The ones from here, you know. I don't know if you're from fucking where else. We curse here, all right? So, because we got a lot of people that come here and they full in, but they're not from here. They're not from the Northeast. It's wild because de Blasio and our governor, Ned Lamont, are two of the biggest cocksuckers I've ever seen in my fucking life. You know, this guy, Ned Lamont, our governor, my friend Ruben Santiago always mentioned him, good friend of mine. He had to have at least, I think it was 150 people to go up there in Hartford in front of the governor's mansion there. And they freaking had to protest because this cocksucker didn't want to let prisoners out at the height of COVID-19. Oh, I don't know if it's a good idea. You don't know if it's a good idea. Every state in the fucking union is doing it except you. You're the only one hesitating. What do you mean you don't think it's a good idea? Okay, how about you get 2 or 3 dead bodies on your clock? Then you'll be all right? Once that was mentioned or whatever, and you had the press there, I keep telling you guys, I've worked in the music industry for 17 years. The press is a conduit to everything, okay? These companies, these people, they don't like bad press, and if you got a video once the shit was going on, it's even better. You send it, I'll give you 7 or 8. Listen, I'm at 20,000, I think 20,000 more, and I got 1 million views, all right? I did this in 3 months. So I'm telling you guys, if you really, really, really want to stick it to somebody, whatever, have the video evidence and also be able to submit it to an outlet. Because if you do, you'd be surprised. And it had not been for the intervention of the news, my friend Ruben, he wouldn't have got that done. And I know one of the reasons he had a main concern about those prisoners getting out is because his brother was one. You see? His brother was one. They're doing things backwards here. I said this recently. I said, when they had that uptick of the virus coming back in Florida, Connecticut's about to be the new fucking Florida. That's what's going to happen. It's going to surge all throughout New England, trickle down into here, past probably down to Philly, some goddamn where. You're going to have a problem. And you're thinking everything is okay and everything is sunshine and peaches, and it's not. It's an illusion, you know? So I'm just saying, get a cap on this problem now, try to quell it. None of the things that I've said, I've been wrong. I said it was going to be a spike with the second and third one. It happened. I said that they were going to go and open up the gates, and boom, here we are. You know, it's not over, dude. It's not over. And I don't care if you got 2 shots, the booster shot, 3 shots after that. I mean, we haven't even clarified whether or not this shit works. There's not been enough research time to even go back and look, or data collected, you know, to even get an assessment of what actually the medication does, vaccines, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, and the fact that you have to get a booster shot for it kind of just like even more alerts me to, hey, we really don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, man, I'll just say this. Guys, I don't know what it's like in your cities, but I'm judging by what a few of y'all wrote. Okay, here, hold on. You guys got some more. I had food thrown at me. Here in Dubai, they don't allow homelessness. It's practically illegal. There's no begging or living on the streets allowed. Now, I wanna tag into that. Cocoa Butter Barbie, I'm glad you wrote that. My friend, Red Cafe, that used to work at the record company with us, he was a signed artist. Many of y'all might remember Red Cafe or whatever. Red Cafe actually started a business where what he does is he was booking artists to actually come to Dubai. And he has residency there. I don't know if he has citizenship, but I'm pretty sure that he has something worked out with him because he's there frequently. You know, he puts up pictures. This one's wrote, yep. You know what I'm talking about. Tiffany Lee says, you know what I'm talking about. So he started that business because not necessarily his rap career was frailing. It was just a better opportunity to get into something. So I think that worked out for him. But yeah, I'd heard that. I'd heard that before. I heard in Dubai that was actually the case. It wasn't allowed. I heard that it was frowned upon, especially with the extensions of what they're doing in Dubai right now. You know, Dubai is actually pending on doing a new project with a new, I guess it's one of the highest, I guess, building to building bridge. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to be suspended that high. You know, I went to the Empire State Building before and I was scared to fucking death. I didn't go till I was damn near 20, you know? So, every time that you look around, you got to worry about one main thing, and one that main thing is how you're going to survive. So, I'll say to you like this, guys. If you see somebody that's homeless or something like that or whatever, don't make fun of these guys or whatever. You know, a lot of these guys are ex-military, you know, and that's a problem I have too when I see somebody making fun of an ex-vet. Something like that shit fucking steams me because the whole fucking family's military, you know? So I don't like when people fuck with vets, you know? I don't care what the fuck's wrong with them, you know? They're like, that guy's got a reason to be screwed up, you know? So they're not saying that it's justified, but they're saying, you know, get the point here. Like, this is the guy that actually fought for the country, served. I mean, not even fought or been deployed, but, you know, and never said the value and the value. He served in the military. And I don't care what branch he fucking was. You can be Navy, you can be Army, you can be Marine. It doesn't fucking matter, whatever branch you are. These guys serve. So it really puts a stain in my ass when I see people make fun of them. I'm like, won't you ask me if you need some fucking help? But we're always ready to go help everybody else. That's the problem. We're always ready to go help everybody else. Like this, I'm not dissing these countries, but I'm saying like this country is fucked up, or this country is crying to the UN. Well, tell the UN to give them some fucking money. One time. Because we didn't did our part. I think we did our part 6 times over. There's people fucked up here. And now we're debating whether or not we need a 4th stimulus check because that little $1,400 fucking dollars took how much? It's almost damn near 10 months. After you do the session of getting the bill passed, that was the extra month. Then actually getting the checks out, that was an extra month and a half. That's now concluded. You've now spent damn near 10 to 11 months, damn near close to a year, trying to debate on whether you're going to get these little raggedy ass $1,400 checks out. And he said, you know what? Let's keep these motherfuckers occupied for a minute. Go ahead and hit them with 6. I can't make this shit up. Do you know anything about the PPP program? I know that it's ending soon. I know that I qualify for it because of the work I did. Camera work and all that stuff is included this time, but the first original one, it wasn't. So we're looked upon as being freelance guys, even though I'm not. I do work contractually, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, that's how it's looked at, because I can be working for like 6 or 7 people at a fucking time sometimes when shit was regular. Right now, shit's fucked up, you know? But when shit was regular, we were doing Power Moves Makers podcast down in Brooklyn. Like I always tell everybody, I share it all the time because my boss actually is still doing it. That was my boss, Sean Press from Bad Boy Entertainment. 17 years that man was my boss. So that was his own little endeavor that he did. And we were interviewing everybody. We had in-house, we had actual guests, and then we had actual audience. So we would have any time between, I don't know, 50 to 75 people depending on the guests there. We didn't cap it any more than that. I got the gracious honor of sitting beside Tony DeFat and not Chris Gotti. Yeah, Chris Gotti, Irv Gotti's brother. I sat beside them and another associate of Murder Inc., the record label, and on sit-in for a Q&A with Casanova from Brooklyn before he had his full debacle just recently. That was the last joint we did. We were supposed to interview the guy from Black Enterprise Magazine, but we did everybody. We did Tuma Basa from YouTube, one of the main guys up at YouTube. Shout out to Tuma. We did Dia Sims from Revolt TV, co-creator of Revolt TV. We did Jeff Tweedy, creator Sean John, formerly of Polo. Who else did we do? DJ Envy. We did Funkmaster Flex. We did, Jesus Christ, Mike Bivens from New Edition. God, the list goes on. A couple other people. I can't think of everybody, but guys, the links are in the community section. Just go there and click the links. They're all there. And check him out. It'll lead you to the page. Just hit his name and then hit videos and the whole thing. But since we've been done, we don't have the filming location anymore. He did better guests. He had Master P and every fucking body else. Make sure you go check that out. I couldn't be in the house with Master P, you know. That's big time shit. You're a vet. Cocoa Butter Barbie says she's a vet. As far as the PPP program, I know it's ending soon. I want to answer that question for you. I know it's ending soon. So yeah, I would jump on that or whatever. Does anybody know how Dogecoin added up? Because I got, you know, like I always talk about my stocks or whatever, and $74 in a day, that might be something to, you know, have a little grin at, depending on what your investment value is. But I saw that shit only go up to $75. I was like, oh God. People talk about, yo, sell it. You never sell it. You never sell them. You never sell them. I saw my Tesla stock started evening out. Evening out. I mean that shit. Those fuckers have been going for like 2 months. Eli Lilly is another one to get involved in, I would tell y'all. I always try to tell y'all a couple of them. Who else did I see? GE went up. And there was one other one that I invested in. Give me 2 seconds. I think I gotta think. But Eli Lilly and Tesla. My Tesla, it was going up towards evening out because it was this little spike. Like I think it was like a month and a half ago. Shit was just screwed for like 2 weeks. Like everything in the market was just like, you know what I mean? So I saw one of my stocks. I think it went from like, because the stock to actually buy was like 250, and I watched that. And that was the one from the freaking, it was an ETF too. So I saw, that was the only thing to say because I saw a little dividend off of it weekly. You know what I mean? That's why I tell y'all, make sure y'all, like, whenever y'all invest in something, invest in the ETFs, because that's where you get a little change. You know what I mean? Even if you don't cash out, you still get a little residuals from it, depending on what your investment value is at the time. But I would definitely tell you that. I mean, as I get more and more into stocks or whatever, my uncle and my father, they were more into it, so I picked it up from them. But as I get more and more into it, yeah, you don't want to sell them. You don't sell them. Don't. And that's what killed me about that Dogecoin, the Dogecoin, or whatever it sounds. It sounds like Deutsch. But with Dogecoin or whatever the hell it is, that was a problem with that. People made like $75 fucking dollars. Like, oh man, it's on now, buddy. Uh-oh. That whole meal I wanted at fucking Red Lobster is happening. Because they give it a fucking deal for $75, huh? $75. I think that was on Saturday. Oh, excuse me, on Friday. And that was in height of Elon Musk actually being on Saturday Night Live and mentioning it. And I think that's why my Tesla stock probably went up too, because I didn't think nothing about it until this morning. But I watch the clips. They'll be on YouTube. I just haven't had the time to watch them yet or whatever. Guys, also make sure you hit up the Cash App, man. $STRINGERBELL80. I'm also going to give you guys another tour. I think I gave y'all like an impromptu tour of my new place, temporary new place, until I move into my real place. But that's cool. I can deal with it. It's pretty adequate. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give you guys another tour where everything's cleaned up and shit. Because for fuck's sakes, I looked at that on the camera after. I was like, oh Jesus Christ, I did it to myself. And I so much wanted to just go back and like rip the video and just edit that little portion out, because the video was great. It was all the information I was telling you guys about the music business and how you get screwed in 3 easy ways. It happened to me, you know. I'm a victim. I don't front. I never fronted to you guys when I got on here. You know, I never fronted on my involvement in the music industry. I never, and I mean, especially perpetrating the lie that, you know, everybody was rich and shit like that. We all leasing shit. And, you know, I never was that guy. I was never the guy with chains. I was never done it. And the reason, look, y'all laughing, but it's the truth, right? Like, y'all ain't never heard me on there. Red Lobster got them good biscuits. Yeah, but I'm saying that you gonna take your whole $75 come up from that and go get some cheddar biscuits. The fam ain't eating cheddar biscuits. Y'all remember that on Boondocks? You eat cheddar biscuits with the broad. The fam ain't eating cheddar biscuits. But you got her eating cheddar biscuits. Hey, Latoya Kitchen, how you doing? Annette, Coco, y'all crazy. I'm interested also And is it cheap? It's free to fill out. It's actually free to fill out or whatever. You just have to have the necessary paperwork. Now there'll be 4 options there. They'll ask you if you are. I think one of them asks you if you actually receive a tax form to fill out yearly. One of them will say you don't file out for taxes yearly. One of them asks you if you're sole proprietor. And another one will ask you something in the course of the military, somewhere around those parameters. But you should be fine if you fit those. Now, the only thing I don't know is I don't know the cutoff date. The cutoff date has got to be extremely different because the last round of PPP loans, it was actually at the start of the pandemic, really, in correlation with where it is now. So I don't know what the prerequisites are. Like I said, I just didn't have time. I'm gonna sit down today and do it. Actually, I'm just gonna stay the fuck up. I'm gonna coffee it out, and I'll let you guys know what I come up with. But I think that there's some different prerequisites as far as a PPP loan this time. Now, speaking of PPP loan, did y'all see this I hate to say it, Florida. I ain't talking about Florida because I used to stay in Florida and I love Florida and I love the people in Florida, but some of the most backwards motherfuckers you will ever meet in your goddamn life, I swear to God. Listen, don't let them palm trees fool you. I think you get hit with a couple of them coconuts down that motherfucker. Because there's some wackos down there. Let me tell you, I don't care if it's Fort Lauderdale, fucking Opelika, Miami Beach, fucking Aventura, Biscayne. They got their nuts. They all got their nuts, okay? That's how Florida is. So this guy down there, he gets some money. The third day, he gets a PPP loan for $1.2 million. I don't know why the fuck they gave this wacko $1.2 million, but they gave him $1.2 million. He was from some country called, okay? So the country he was from he actually filled out some of the paperwork from, okay? As he was filling out the paperwork from, he made all these mentions of all these different phony fucking businesses he had. In totality, it was something like 11. And he was given $1.2 million from his location in, I don't know how the fuck this happened. Immediately after he got the money, not even 4 to 5 days after he got the $1.2 million, the first thing he did was he bought a Bentley, he bought a Ferrari, and he bought another exotic, which I'm not sure. Which exotics in Florida ain't really a big deal. You're not really, like, unless you bring something like a fucking McLaren or something like that. There's Lamborghinis flying around every fucking way. There's the Aventuras flying around everywhere, Aventadors flying around everywhere. There's nothing to see on Ocean Drive or Washington or Collins. And you see that shit every day down there. Most of the people that ride in them, they're fucking renters. Okay? Let's get clear. So this guy goes and buys 3 of those. Spends a little bit of the money on whatever he's buying, chains and all kinds of crazy shit or whatever. They catch him on the 7th day of him having $1.2 million. So you got a story now for the rest of your life. Hey, yo, kids, listen. Daddy had $1.2 million for 7 fucking days, but Daddy wanted to go buy 3 exotics, so Daddy ain't got the money no more. Sorry, kids. This is the 5th guy that's done this. So those guys, they make it a little bit harder when you're legitimate to actually fill out for the shit, because Dodo wants to go buy 3 exotic cars so he can show off and tell everybody, like, let's get the fuck. We was talking about Dubai earlier. There are people in Dubai that go play cars. Okay? There are people in Dubai that run around freaking with tigers and leopards and shit in the car as pets. You know what I mean? And you're talking about some motherfucker riding around with tinted windows playing his music loud? Get the fuck out of here. These guys, if you want to put the antithesis of narcissism and freaking this greed and gluttony, take a look at what goes on in Dubai and the gluttony that goes on there. With fucking, I tell you, these guys will be riding around in Maseratis, whatever. And they got a pet liger or a pet tiger or a pet leopard or I think one of the guys had a fucking pet monkey with him one time. And I mean, that's balling to them in that company, but, Yep, Dubai is all so crazy. It said you could get up to $75,000 5 years to pay it back. Now, this is the thing. With some of the PPP loan, you actually don't have to pay it back. Now, I think in special situations, and I think it's tax lien on. I don't know how the taxation goes, so don't quote me on that. I am not a CPA, okay? So I always highlight that. I'm not a CPA. I know what I know. I make the money I make. With that being said, this is the thing. I don't know what the prerequisites are this time, and I'm pretty sure they're totally different, and I don't know them in detail right now to actually blur them out and be like, oh, it's this, and then on line section 2, 3, I'm not prepared to do that right now. Can y'all understand that? So I'd rather do that than sit around and tell you the wrong freaking information that you like write in the comment section, we're gonna murder, we're gonna torture you, like all that other stuff that always comes up there. Somebody mad. I tell 100% facts. You might not like the octave in my voice. Some of you may love it. I don't give a fuck either way. But the point I'm getting at is here, take the information. Don't worry about the messenger. Take the information. You take the information, you'll see what I'm talking about is true. That's why I took a whole hour and a half and explained to you guys how a record contract works electronically and on paper. You know what I mean? So you would understand and know what you were coming against. I've seen people, and it's funny too. I just saw recently, and I think it was Snoop Dogg, one of those guys. He just did a whole interview, and he brought up the same exact thing I brought up, where I saw guys get signed, and then the fuckers never come out. It's like, yo, we'll get this motherfucker. How we gonna do it? Sign him. Sign that motherfucker. Sign him. His album never comes out. He's locked into a trap for 10 years. I'm gonna tell you how this happened, and somebody I know this happened to. My friend Tabitha Duncan from Cut Close. Cut Close was a group that was under Keith Sweat. If you remember Keith Sweat, I'm pretty sure one of y'all kids were on here that are younger. Y'all probably was made off of Keith Sweat's music, and R. Kelly and a couple of other R&B artists of the 90s. You know what I'm saying? You're probably conceived off them. Well, Tabitha was exactly in that same situation, and the problem with Tabitha was, I guess, I don't know if it was Motown exactly or who the major was. Well, whoever the major was that had the deal, it was just the same thing that I told you guys the other day. Another company came in and made acquisitions. See, in the media industry, there's always going to be a company that comes in that does an acquisition because you have a parent company coming in and doing an acquisition. So that's the same thing that happened when I was over there at Revolt TV. Revolt TV, the distributor when we first started over there was Time Warner. Time Warner. AT&T came in and acquisitioned that portion of Time Warner that was a distributor for Revolt TV. With that being said, the whole contractual obligation changed. So now those same people that were there and they were working were no longer needed because AT&T said, oh, we don't want these people there, and they eradicate people. Same thing happened with us when we switched over from Atlantic Records to Interscope Records being the distributor. They decide each time, hey, we don't need these people, we don't need these people. So this is a constant attitude, this is a constant approach you'll see when acquisitions happen. And it happens very frequently in media, where you get, I can't even think of another business, maybe a card salesman or some shit like that, maybe somebody that, does real estate, definitely. You're going to see a lot of acquisitions, maybe companies, but not as quickly as you see in the music industry. And the fact that the facilitation of the acquisition can happen so quickly versus other entities, that's something to be discussed of too. I mean, you can have this shit done in a couple fucking months. You really can. Where if it was a larger company, like BMG is where I started, Bertelsmann Music Group. It's a German music distributor and record label. And when I was over at Bertelsmann, I saw it a couple of times. I mean, one of the main times I saw is when they got rid of Clive. That was partially wanting to retire him, and it was partially because it was a new acquisition made of that portion of Arista Records. There was no need for him anymore. Same thing happened to him when he was at CBS Records, and he got brought up on all those charges and all that. It's always going to be something like that. But I'll tell you guys this, right? Never, ever, ever, ever take the music business for granted and think that the music is going to always come and the money's going to always come, because it will slow up, it will dry up, and there won't be nothing left. And with that being said, guys, I'm going to get in here because I'm at the lovely favorite place that I always go to. I always come there. I'm at Trader fucking Joe's. Yes, I am. Because the newest Trader Joe's we got is in Orange, Connecticut, and it fucking sucks. You know what I mean? The people in there suck. The fucking variety of stuff in there sucks. I go to this one, or I go to the one on fucking in Brooklyn. All right, the one on DeKalb, that's the one I love. But this one right here, it's got a place in my heart too. I'm really a fucking fat kid, but that's why I eat this stuff, because I don't get hat. But I'll tell you guys this much, man, this is for sure. No matter how much you want to pretend or whatever, this homeless problem that's in New York needs to be eradicated, for one. Two, if you're going to do any investment in stocks or whatever, stop jumping in on the bandwagon like people did with that GameStop stock. You saw that way, you know. Yeah, you got some gains off of it, but the gains are not going to be substantiated and stay stagnant. The gains on it are only temporary, and they you either cash out on it or whatever. It's not going to retain its value. Any of you guys got any questions? He said, haha, Florida is crazy. Hell yeah, it is. If you can get up to 75, I think I read that one. You're welcome. Yep, Davin, Dubai is crazy. Yes, it is. I'm going to Trader Joe's today as well. Love their food. Yeah, hell yeah, I told you, Annette. Wow, I didn't know you worked for Revolt. I didn't work for Revolt TV, but what had happened was I was supposed to be working for Revolt TV under Nick, and I just happened to come at the time they were doing the acquisition from AT&T, and so that put a halt on that. Once they do acquisitions or in the midst of doing acquisitions, they're not doing any hiring. Hiring is all out of the fucking conversation at that point. Hiring, what is this you speak of? Bring it to me and make it down. You know what I mean? Hire you speak of. We ain't hiring a motherfucker. So no, that blew out. Ain't nothing funnier than seeing a grown man pedaling a bicycle over 35. I swear to God, ain't nothing more pathetic. It's nothing screams I don't get no pussy more than riding a bike over 35. But anyway, I don't know what happened to guys in the past 10 years, but like the fucking moistness in guys nowadays, I don't understand it. Like I would like there are men out here. Let me just end this with this. This is for you ladies, because I know I got a lot of lady viewers. There are men out here that have been so raised by women that they have the attributes of women and they react like women. And I've had guys ride by me, walk by me, whatever, and try to do style offs like you motherfucking RuPaul and I'm some other motherfucking drag queen or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only way I can equate it. You know what I'm saying? Bitch, I know you ain't got them Nikes on, bitch. You know, oh no, ass motherfuckers. You know, like the degradation of masculinity in the past 10 years, I don't understand. I grew up with a lot of fucking uncles. All my uncles were military, every last fucking one of them, and my aunts. You know, my aunt, I tell the story all the time. My aunt lived in Italy and Germany for years. You know, so before this was after her service was done, her tour was done, you know. Guys nowadays, it's just so fucking moist, and I'm just like, yo, well, who the hell's going to defend you if somebody comes through the window or something like that? Your girlfriend right there? And then some of them think they're tough and all that stuff or whatever, and then, you know, they go popping in people's faces and talking stuff or whatever, and the next minute you know, some guy pulls out a pistol and blows the fucking brains out. They're never ready for that. So you gotta take in order. Things have changed with men. And the guys of once again, I don't know, those guys were like my grandfather, my uncle. I don't think you'll ever see guys like that fucking again. It's like they're trying to mold men into being fucking women or half women or some shit like that. I'm like, what are you gonna grow a fucking vajay next? Like, I actually hear some guys talk, and I'm like, why are you talking like that? And then like, I live in the fucking suburbs. I'm not trying to be cocky, but I live in the fucking suburbs. I like actually lived there, grew up in fucking Connecticut. So I'm just speaking for Connecticut, all right? We don't talk like that out there. I don't know any of my friends that like enunciate shit. Oh my God, like Bradley, like and then like when I hear that shit, I'm like, that shit sounds so fucking fake. None of my friends in Connecticut talk like that. Like nobody lives. I live in the fucking North End. Nobody that lives around me talks like that. I can't remember any of my fucking friends that actually go out of their mouth and say, "Oh my God, like God, I was here my life," all that shit. You know who does that? Actors. That's who fucking does that. So when I hear that actors in that voice, I already know it's fucking fake, and it just upsets me because I'm just like, why are you doing that? You know? But you got a lot of guys that are doing that. I'm just trying to figure out why. I'm like, okay, so it's assimilation in order. I got you. I understand. Conformity and assimilation. I got you. Now, the conformity that you're partaking in, how is it beneficial to you in the long run? That's a question you got to ask yourself. And then if it is beneficial to you in the long run, how much in the long run? 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20? How long do you see yourself in a career as a doorman or the garbage man or fucking janitor? Huh? How's that going to work out? So that's a real thing about it. So I see these guys, man, they're making fucking high school money, $15 fucking an hour. What the fuck could I do with that? Huh? $15 fucking an hour. Could you imagine trying to live off that? I'm not trying to be fresh, but you got beautiful legs. You can imagine trying to live off $15 fucking an hour. The going rent in New York is about $2,200 to $2,500. All right, if you want somewhere decent. If you want to live in the fucking sloth, go ahead. Good luck to you. Make sure you duck. Out where I live at Stanford, the going rent maybe be like, I don't know, let's say somewhere between 14, 18 medium. So you're saving probably like $500-$600. Throw in a commute. I come down here probably like 2 or 3 times a week. Cost me $6 fucking, whoop-de-whoop. So that's probably an extra, let's say maybe $70 a month. Round trip is $12, all right? I still save more money than fucking living here. And what I mean by that is, if you own something, it's a great place to live except for the fucking taxes. Just like Connecticut with sky high taxes out there. They ain't gonna never change that. That's how they make their fucking money, you know? And they've chased almost every business out of there because of their taxes. They chased Pawns out of there. They chased Hewlett Packard out of there. They chased, who else the hell did they chase? WWE is basically gone. WWF and WWE used to be right downtown Stanford. They're gone. And there's a couple other companies that just dried out. I mean, Pfizer's, they had their facility in London. That was a research facility. 10 years to the date that they were tax exempt, these fuckers turn around and move the fuck out. They leave a whole shell of a building to do whatever you want with it. They say, here's our gift to the city. You want to give to the city? You made us tax exempt? We left you a building. Listen, my dad was in construction. People do this shit all the time. Especially when it comes to commercial property. That's why I'm into the shipping container homes. They'll build a facility, especially a major company like Pfizer or something. They'll build a facility. They'll utilize the facility for such a time in a matter, or whatever. And they always specifically move into Midwest small towns, New England small towns, New York small towns, because the people are so inviting to have them in there because they need the damn jobs. Same thing happened in New London when I was out there. Pfizer's, EB Electric Boat, they do nuclear submarines. You had the Navy out there. You had the casinos. You know, this is local economy here. So they keep the whole county, and I'm talking about Norwich, Groton, New London, all those surrounding towns right there. They keep them going. Those 4 businesses right there. When Pfizer's left this shell of a building, it was Joseph Lieberman that actually went in there and allocated so they have something to do with it, because their first plan was to tear the motherfucker down. This thing is so big, it looked like a small city. And then adjacent to that set a different facility that was supposed to be meant for kids. It never mutated because it never matriculated itself, because the people that they wanted to move into the town that they thought was going to stay there, that wasn't the plan of Pfizer. Pfizer's had probably told some of their workers, hey, listen, we're about to pull up out of here. You might want to do the fucking same. Here's a month's pay. Here's a month's advance. You should be fine. So I watched that happen with my own 2 eyes in New London, Connecticut. When Pfizer's came in there, left that building there. And if it wasn't for Joseph Lieberman coming in and advocating, that building wouldn't have been shit. It would have just been sitting there. So, I don't know, something to look. If you want to look it up, go ahead and look it up. I guarantee it'll come up. All right, let me see what else you guys got. So, yeah, and happy Mother's Day, you guys. I got a lot of female viewers. I'm glad you said that. I almost forgot. How is it up north? It's warm today. Yesterday was fucking freezing cold out, don't you know? I almost froze my toes off, you know? So it was a little windy. That's why y'all see me with this hoodie on and freaking jacket looking like a yo-yo. But it was cold yesterday. Today, it's like semi-warm, but still early. So we'll see, you know? We'll see. I didn't watch Mr. G this morning, so I don't know. That's the only guy I trust with the weather, Mr. G. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you guys don't know who Mr. G is, look up Mr. G on Pix 11. Mr. G, he'll yank your chain a little bit. He'll be like, hey, it's going to fucking rain for the next 2 days and the sunshine, you know. That's a guy's gift. He likes to do that. You know, he's an old school guy. But, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to get the fucking store here, get what I'm getting, get my ass back to Stanford, take a nice hot shower. You know what I'm saying? And, I don't know. Freaking get online. Anybody online tonight? If you're online for about an hour or so, whatever, I'm major online with the online battling community. So if you want to do that, I'm going to start streaming those too. So I think I'm going to create a whole channel just for that. It's going to be streaming from game phones, though. I don't think too many people do that. Everybody does fucking video games that 85 people got, you know what I mean? Like, and then, you know, you got people buying mods and all kinds of shit like that. So, you know, I'm Death Star 358, you know, that shit, you know? So, guys, I will talk to you later. And before I forget, guys, you know I don't never talk about it to the end of my videos because I try to keep it thrilled. But, guys, if you want to, ring a bell, $STRING, damn. INGERBELL80. Again, that's $STRINGERBELL80. Also, if you don't want to donate to Cash App, I also have a link for PayPal. But if you sign up using my Cash App link, you will receive $10. And also got some hotel, not hotel, but kind of like an agency. which is bookings.com. I'm gonna put the affiliate link in there for you guys. If you book a hotel using, and I'm gonna give you an example. If you book a hotel using booking.com, you'll get $25 and I'll receive $25, right? But you only get it on one stay. So this is the hitch. If you're gonna do that and you wanna receive $75 instead, book them for individual nights. So meaning you book one night, book the next night, book the next night, book the next night, until whatever the hell you guys are going. $25 each time, automatically put into your account. No wait on it. You don't have to wait a day, 2 days. It's automatically in your account. So I'll be putting that link in there today too, so you guys can click that. It would help me out a lot. And the last thing I want to talk about is my Gustavo clothing line and new song. I will be doing the new song this coming up week and putting that out. As far as the clothing line, I'm gonna take my little time with it a little bit more. Printful is a hard fucking engine to work. It really is. The designs already had them pre-made. It's just, I had already had the designs, but Printful and linking Printful seems to be a problem for a lot of people. And so I'm trying to find an ulterior, I guess, vehicle that I can use outside, not a Printful, but actually outside, because Printful will do the designs and it'll do the ordering and everything like that, but the actual outlet that you need to use to sell the shit, it's actually a second outsource. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but that's the way it works. I don't know why it doesn't work where they just sell it right off the thing. You can't use that. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. But the Scavo line, I will have that out, and you guys will have it, all right? You guys want to see what Trader Joe's looks like? I'll show you what Trader Joe's looks like before I get off out here. You know what I'm saying? Well, please hit those donation links and hit me up, because it's the most beautiful thing in the world to be loved by people like you guys and know that it's genuine, you know what I mean? And I'm telling you, man, the freaking trip that we've had has been amazing, you know? So I want you guys to definitely know that. Thank you. So, all right, so let me see what women we have to stick together. Happy Mother's Day, all the mothers on Davin's life. Yeah, happy Mother's Day to all you guys, definitely. This is Trader Joe's, guys, for all you guys that don't know what Trader Joe's is. This is Trader Joe's. It's like, you know, my type of shit. It's organic stuff mostly. Bananas, fruit, stuff like that, whatever. It's pretty cool. I always come here, though. I've always come here probably like the past 2 years, year and a half so. I got introduced to these purple potatoes here, the Japanese, that are to fucking die for. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, it's seasonal or some shit. But yeah, I just waited it out because I was like, I'm already, you know, I'll stay with you guys for a little bit longer. I was already in New York, so I was like, why am I gonna go all the way home and then come all the way back to New York to go to fucking Trader Joe's? You know what I'm saying? Plus, I told Annette yesterday. Annette will tell you, I keep my word, man. I'm so straight edge when it comes to shit. Because I'm like, I know actually, and somebody, not Annette, but somebody is waiting for you to fuck up and be like, aha! You know what I mean? And they put you on blast on the internet. I told you what he was going to do. No, you didn't. I told you already, motherfucker. I know how the internet world works. You know what I mean? Very well. So I don't want to send out the message that I'm saying one thing and I don't do it and I don't fulfill it. Thank you, Annette. I appreciate that. You too, Annette. So I don't, you know, every time Annette or somebody donates, I always show them what I buy, whether it's equipment or whatever it is, you know, I always show everybody, send them pictures or I post the pictures or whatever. I think that's just complimentary to showing people respect. And I see so many people that'll like put shit up and be like, yo, donate to me. And then you never see where the money goes. Oh, I got it. You bought that Bentley with it. I got you. You bought that Porsche, whatever the fuck, you know. That's how these guys do it. Anyway. So, you know, what can you do? Any updates on Dr. Umar and Kevin Samuels? I know I said we were going to talk about it, but I just can't help it. That is so funny. They look pathetic arguing with each other. They really do. Like, Kevin Samuels is definitely on an intellectual perspective, definitely got Umar. Umar is like, I don't know. And another thing I like about Kevin Samuels, I didn't know until I watched Joe Budden's podcast that he actually worked in marketing. I said, oh, okay, you were in the same gang I was in, you know? He didn't do it for record companies like I did. He did it for, I think, some type of financial systems, but that's what he worked in. But Kevin Samuels, I didn't even know he was that old. He's actually 52. I learned that from watching Joe Budden's podcast, too. I didn't know that. I saw that one particular clip, though, that was freaking hilarious. And that was the one, did you guys see it? Where the two girls were trying to like destroy him. It was three girls. They were trying to destroy him. And basically what he was doing, he was like, listen, OnlyFans is not a future. And they were arguing this. It was like, how do you argue that OnlyFans is not a future? You know what I'm saying? But I can get it. There's some girls that have banked like $2 million, $3 million just strictly off OnlyFans. Factory, you know what I mean? So, I mean, what do you say to that? Like, you know, well, shit, you fucked up. How dare you do that shit? Baby, let me borrow $20. You got it. I'll give it back to you. Sometime, you know. So, you know, what do you say? What do you say? What do you say? I'm tired of you being on OnlyFans bringing in all this goddamn money. This don't make no damn sense. Come on, let's go get something to eat. We got to talk about this. You treating with your OnlyFans money? I got more comedy skits coming too, guys. But I mean, like seriously, it was an attempt to destroy Kevin Samuels, and the three girls were sitting on the panel, and I don't know who the other two gentlemen were that were talking to them. I've never seen them before, so I don't know who they are. And so they were sitting there, and they were just like, they were the dumbest bunch of broads I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry. I was like, yo, I hope you don't have children. I really hope you don't have, and if you do, keep them the fuck away from Mars. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was that scary. Well, anyway, the one girl who was representing New York, unfortunately, she was talking the most, right? And when she was talking, it was just like, it was so blatantly apparent that she was dumber than fucking, like, this chick was nuttier than squirrel shit for one. But two, she was just slow and dumb as hell. And so she was like, well, you can't tell me to make up because you don't know how many people be on OnlyFans. I was like, listen, you're talking about, listen, you're not doing nothing but online shopping. And I'm not trying to say there's anything wrong with online shopping. Women can do whatever she wants to with her body. I got two sisters. I ain't going to argue that. I'm just saying, you can't make a fucking career out of OnlyFans, dude. OnlyFans? Like, that's your ambition to be on OnlyFans. And you ask these girls, and they'll say, yeah, a lot of them. As a segment of girls in the population, they'll say, yeah. It's not all of them. That's ironic, you know what I mean? But it's a high number of them that will say, yeah, it's okay. Lysandra Giller, hey, Lysandra, I'm sorry I ignored you too, pardon me. So what do you got? So let me tell you best about this Kevin Samuels story first. That's proper. So he's sitting up there, he's trying to explain to the girls, and they just keep interrupting him. Like there's just an ongoing badger. Every time he says something, he's like, and they just attack him naturally. You know, like I said, I got two sisters. I know how it's going to go. They're going to prounce on you like a fucking wild, you know what I mean? Whatever. So that's not it. So anyway, long story short, Kevin Samuels keeps his calm, doesn't argue with anybody. You know, same guy he is all the time. And I loved it. The girl finally gets up and walks off the panel after the guy tells her. He said, well, listen, if you don't like being here, you can leave. And I think that was the most brilliant thing he did. Get her the fuck off the stage. She doesn't need to be there anymore. You're there for your own narcissistic reasons anyway. You want to be seen. And that's cool. That's fine. Nobody's accused of it. That's fine. You can be seen. That's not a problem. But stop making it look like it's all about something totally different than what it actually is. And it's only really about your narcissism. It's not about anything else. It's not like you care about the culture. It's not like you care about what happens to people. You don't care, you know what I mean? And so I hate this pretending that people do this fake advocacy. Thank you. People do this fake advocacy about whatever. That's what whatever, you know, boony foo-foo, you know, this happened to fucking such and such. She was attacked online. Nobody knows her, you know what I'm saying? Or nobody knows him. Or like, why is he so offended? Or why is he so sensitive is more so the fact. I heard Madonna say that the other day on her post. She said, the problem with the world is people are too fucking sensitive. Like, and I totally agree. Like, you know when you can just walk up to somebody before and be like, yeah, you know what, you acting like a pussy. And it'd be all right. You can't do that in New York anymore. In New York City, you can't do it anymore. I swear to God to this. So it's like, it was so much on these fucking shelves. Where's my brownies at? I'll look for my brownies, y'all. I'll give me a second. I told you, fat kid run. You can't say any of the things you want to say, so that's why I even stopped the comedy skits because I was like, okay, I'm gonna fuck around and say something to one of these guys. There they go. I'm gonna fuck around and say something that one of these guys don't like. And they gonna be like, yo, you know what? Cancel him. Cancel him. Then they take away. You saw what they did to me. Almost 1 million views now. And I freaking get flagged by some, I don't want to call her no names. Yeah, I know what I want to call her. Some chunky chick in Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? She should be rolling 7 on a diet. And she looks horrible. All right. Ladies, you are very welcome. Be safe out there in the streets and stay normal. I say, ladies, please use your common sense. Antoine King, I love that. I love that you guys like talk to each other. That is so cool. I really love that. That's the one thing I like about my page. My page has camaraderie. Everybody comes on to talk to each other, whether they know each other or not. That's beautiful. And y'all all live in different cities, so that makes it even more interesting. I got people from Chicago, everywhere, so that's good. I'll keep talking to each other, uplift each other, and all that shit. shit. And let's pretend to be happy. Like, let's go jump off a fucking bridge, you know, all that shit. Conformity wins, you know. So what are you guys doing for Mother's Day? Anybody got anything planned? Family members taking them out? Husband, girl, you know, whatever. I don't know. Tell me. I want to know. I like talking about things like that. I think that's just cool. Y'all want to see what I'm doing? Thank you very much, Davin, because of you. Thank you. I appreciate that. See, these are my teas right here. So I got like all kinds of teas. So this is the tea I usually get. And that tea tastes fucking better than, the only other one I like is Puka. And I'll pay $6 for that shit. You know what I mean? Because I got my Darjeeling, I can't never pronounce the shit right, but it's Darjeeling or Darjeeling, whatever the hell it is. Yeah, right, who gives a shit? Tomato. Like, you get like that, I don't have to be like that. All right, I'm gonna get the blood orange. Yeah, sure. We'll rock it, man. What is that? I don't like mint tea. What y'all think about mint tea? That's, I mean, maybe for the singing voice, but I don't know. Ginger. They've got detox cleansing blend. What is this one? Sweet and spicy infusion made with a blend of roots, herbs, spices used to promote balance on the broad day. I'm gonna stick with my blood orange. He said stick with shit you know. You know what I'm saying? I go get another one I don't know, and then I fuck around, don't like it, and I'm stuck with it. You know? How's that weekend gonna end up? Somebody's gonna have to. Huh? Who took the jam out of your fucking donut, Davin? Fucking Trader Joe's did. You know what I mean? Oh, man. So I want to know, what are you guys doing? Is anybody taking you guys out to eat? Is anybody, you know, picking anybody up, or any plans, you know, or somebody you haven't seen in a couple of months or something like that? I don't know, whatever the decision is, you know? Okay, guy. But I tell you, man, every time. The number one person you got to worry about, I'll tell you in a minute, it's not white people. You got to worry about black people trying to start shit. They just, I don't know, man. It's a segment, you know? I like to keep it as a segment. Always ready to charge and start something with their own, but never with the people they say are oppressing them. That doesn't make sense to me. Even the sight, it's almost like they hate you, you know? It's sad, it's scary. It's very scary. But anyway, I'm showing the mention. God bless you. Thank you very much, Brenda. I appreciate it. What's this one say? Thank you very much, Davin, because of you. Oh, you're talking about you guys all meeting each other? Yeah, I think that's cool. Like I said, I have no problem with that. You notice anytime you guys are talking, I'm going to stop for a second. Anytime you guys are talking in the chat room, even when I'm talking, I have no problem with it. The reason I have any fucking problem with it is because I want you guys to get to know each other. I like that you talk in there, and all that you support me. I've never heard any of you say anything bad about it. It's always after broadcast, I get those barrages. Why you whole line asking for donation? No. You know, Steven from Django ass motherfuckers. Why you all, do Master Candy know you on here? No. Monsieur Candy gonna get you. Ooh, they gonna get you, Django. Ass motherfuckers, you know. Them coons. I can't stand motherfuckers like tap dance shoes. I can't stand a motherfucker. Like I say, throw them to the fucking lions. That motherfucker's worthless in our culture. You know? Troublemakers. And it's a sad thing. Y'all know what I'm talking about here in the chat room. It's a sad thing that nobody fucking talks about them more. The motherfuckers. That's all they do is start shit with their own people, but won't start shit with the people that I don't get it. I just don't get it. And it makes a confusion. You know? There's kids that are scared of these guys. You know that? There's kids that are scared of these guys. Kids. I've heard it in conversations numerous times. There's kids that are scared of men that look like them. And most of it says the way they look at them. They look at them violent. You know? In many cases, a lot of them teaching violence as they're growing up. You've heard me a million times say the kids need fathers in their life, but they need a good father. There's a lot of shitty fathers out there, okay? Don't get that fucking confused. A lot of shitty fathers out there. They then do nothing but teach the kids shitty stuff, and now they got a shitty grown kid, you know? And that shitty grown kid now lives around you, and you know, whatever. So don't have shitty kids. Or be shitty people and raise shitty kids. How about that? Shitty kids start shitty problems, you know that? It's the truth, guys. I know y'all don't like the way I put it or whatever. I don't give a shit. Shitty kids start shitty problems. That's just the way it is. And anybody tell you anything different, they're fucking lying to you. And that's just what it is. I hate that people have to be so censored on what they do or whatever. Maybe that's why I flagged so many times. I don't, you know. I'm like my uncles and them. That you know, we plain speaking men. I don't harbor nothing. I don't give a fuck how you feel either. You know? You're not gonna give a shit how I feel at the end of the day. Let it come down to you and me. And it's something that you want, it's something that I want. You're gonna be like, yo, fuck that guy. Who the fuck's that guy, huh? Come on, tell me you wouldn't. You say anything other than that, you're fucking lying. Alright? And I'm not talking about you guys in particular, I'm just talking about most of the freaking industry, people in the industry, this whole YouTube ecosphere that's full of a lot of bullshit I'm seeing. So anybody kept up with Tasha K lately? I haven't heard anything from her in a long time. I think the last time I heard Tasha K's name was probably like a month or so ago. After she had flagged me like 2 or 3 times. And how about Toxic Diamond? Has anybody heard from her? Is she still under arrest? Making threats online. When I saw that, I was like, this shit, come on, man. You're too old to be making threats online to people. I don't make threats online to people. I will advertently say, yo, listen, it might be a chance you might fall down the stairs. If you do, I just hope it happens. I'm not gonna actually push you down the stairs. You know what I mean? Like, Toxic Diamond, she made a whole freaking video, dude, talking about she was gonna pull out the hop and go to business on everybody. Anybody remember that video? Because I do. Crazy. The reason I'm talking about them is because I still can't figure out how so many people support them. And they're just, I don't know, they're shitty people in general. But this is the measure that most people take with people on YouTube. Whoever's the most salacious, that's who we'll follow. Follow that motherfucker. He knows the way out. He's salacious, nasty, or obnoxious. He doesn't care about anybody. Let's follow him. You know? All right, guys, I'm off my rant. I'm going to jump in here and the thing. If you guys like any stuff I said, make sure you donate to $STRINGERBELL80. Y'all want to see what I got? I got all kinds of stuff. So I love these things right here. Of course, yo soy cubano, tú sabes, negrito. And I got these little fish curry things. I love these things. These I always eat in the morning for some reason. I'm not a breakfast type of dude, but if I do eat breakfast, I'll throw one of these in my mouth. Pause. And I love these little things. And they're only like $2. Actually, see? They're right here. $2.29. Think of my odds. You know what I'm saying? So I love these little things. So I just can't get some little vittles. Oh, and I got the most important thing that I wanted out of all the shit. My fucking mahi. You heard? I love this fish. It's a Hawaiian fish. It's great. It's real sweet or whatever. And it's pretty, this is the only place I've really found it cheap. They have it at Stop and Shop out of Connecticut, and it's probably that and a third of that price. Maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. You know, New England bullshit. All right, guys. I'm gonna get up out of here because I'm in line right now. But salute to all of you guys. Ladies, enjoy your Mother's Day today. I want to make sure I say thank you to everybody. David Castillo, what's going on? Star Pepper, Cash Cow TV, what's going on, man? Cocoa Butter Barbie, hey. Anton Queen, thank you. Annette Foster, what's going on? Cocoa Butter Barbie again. Who else is here? Tiffany Lee, hey, what's going on? Tiffany Lee again. Anton King again. Tina Gray, hey, what's going on? Latanya Kitchens, I hope I'm saying your name right. How you doing? Anton, that's you again. Yeah, I figured you guys were gonna be on here. I was surprised there's this many people. Maria, what's going on? Hey, Maria, I remember you. I'm trying to see who else is here. Lysandra Gillard, hey, how you doing, sweetie? All women. So, never call me a misogynist. My whole goddamn, I looked at my demographic. My whole demographics is ladies, and I love it. I'm cool with it. You know, that's why I speak about some of you guys' issues, because some of these pussy ass men out here, they're speaking about it, but they ain't speaking about it right. They're speaking about it with a whole bunch of toilet paper stuck between their asses. You know what I mean? That's why I tell you, you got to watch how you're moisturizing your men. You know, you're getting lions eating grass, basically. You know, as a diet. If there's a water breakout or something like that, a punk-ass man can't protect you. That's what you gotta remember, you know? Motherfucker scared gonna hide behind you. Now, I don't give a fuck when nobody say you might not like the way I said it, and all that shit. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm cursed. This is New York, fuck you. The point I'm getting at is, ladies, you can't feminize these men so much that they fuck. Like, this is what I'm saying. Every point that you say you want some sensitivity given to your situation, you denote a man's masculinity by 5%. Now, you might not know this, but inadvertently you do, because society-wise, they all convey to it, because we all love fucking women, all right? You get on the nerves, give us a headache or whatever. I don't want to come home and hug a fucking guy at night. You get what I'm saying? So, I need you. Not to mention procreating the fucking world here might be a necessity in a couple of years. So, when you feminize the men, you change a lot of dynamics about things. Sexual dynamic. We saw the thing with the numbers that I told you guys about the CDC and the new numbers they put up, and they talk about this actual decline specifically with black and white women as far as pregnancies and coming to term with pregnancies, and a decline in birth rates. And the birth rate is now being superseded by immigrants. And now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying, I mean, that's kind of ironic that this is a country made of, it's kind of weird, on the world scale. Maybe not on a local scale, but on the world scale. It's a big deal. If you're pussifying the men, that's the only way I can put it. I got two sisters, I love my sisters. But if you're pussifying the men, and I think my mother would even say this, if you're pussifying the men, who's going to protect you? You're going to have lack of people trying to join the military. That's something I promote. You're going to have lack of people joining any type of real protection-based squadron or I don't know what the fuck, but it's scary. It's scary. Now, I'm gonna put it to you this way. I don't want to put all my cards. A 300-pound man going up against a, maybe a 140-pound woman. I don't think that's fair on the battlefield. So you got to stop pussifying these guys, ladies. I'm telling you. They're turning into fucking sweethearts. They're getting around us, and it's like, oh, what the fuck is this candy, motherfucker? You know what I mean? Like, I get guys around me, they're like, hi, how you doing? And I'm like, yo, you're making me fucking uncomfortable. Can you put some bass in your voice or something? Like, you watch football lately? Something. I don't know. All right, guys, I'm out of here. $ Cash App, $STRINGERBELL 80. That spells Springer Bell 80. Also, there's a PayPal link in the description box. You guys hit that up. I'll be back with you later on today when I get back to Connecticut. 27? 27? Sounds good.